Hi, I'm Teresa Harding, and I'm really excited to be here to talk with you today in this Empowered Life series for women, because there are a lot of things that we learn about health, and many of those things go across the board for men and women, but our bodies really are different, and sometimes it's really nice to just focus on the things that matter specifically for us, because we have our own little idiosyncrasies. We have different things that affect us in different ways than they affect men, so this is really fun for me. So the first thing that I want to talk about a little bit is that there are 5 different ways we need to balance our systems and our bodies. And as women, this is really important. Let me tell you what the 5 are first. So there's physical, there's emotional, which has to do with a lot of times our hormones and how our feelings and attitudes go. We have social, that's important. Mental, which includes educational, things that we need to learn. And then we have spiritual. So those are all important. And think about it like this, because a lot of times that can be overwhelming. But what I want you to think about is, if you're all excited to get in shape, but your entire focus is all about that, and you're not focusing on anything else, on your relationships with your family, making sure you spend time with your kids or your spouse or your friends, pretty soon you're going to become imbalanced, right? So those 5 things are really important, but today I'm going to focus on one, and that's the physical. And it's not just about getting in shape, because there are 2 things I keep thinking about with women and the things that affect us a lot. One is stress. Research shows that women deal with a lot more. Maybe we don't deal with a lot more stress, but we handle stress in a very different way, and we stress out about things that are important, but maybe we don't need to stress out about it. I heard a really funny quote, and this lady was talking about how she's a worrier. She worries about everything. She worries about things that aren't going to happen. She said, "Did you know that 90% of everything we worry about never happens?" She said, "To me, that's a clinical study that proves that worrying works." So I think that's a really important point. But we do worry, we stress, and we kind of get stressed out, and we get in overload. And you've been hearing in this series a lot about hormones. Our hormones go into overload, or we are not overreacting, but it can feel like overreacting. So it's kind of a big deal. So stress is a big one for women. And the second thing is that we have more fat. Like it or not, we have more fat than men, okay? Ladies, just face it. The reality is our fat cells are holding toxins and holding things that overburden our bodies to the point where pretty soon we start having a domino effect. We start having little responses that aren't good within our body, and pretty soon it gets to a point where we see one thing after another. And eventually it turns into, maybe you're having concerns with your thyroid. Maybe you're having concerns with not being able to lose weight. You can't sleep. All of these different things. And a lot of it comes because of these 2 factors, because of stress and because of the fat that we store in our body and the things that get stored in our fat. So what I want to talk to you about is the physical health and what exactly you can do to help eliminate as much of that from your life and from your body to keep you healthy, so that you can stop that domino effect and you can keep things going in the order that they need to go. Okay, so let's go through a step-by-step of exactly the things that you can be doing. And the thing I want you to keep in mind as we talk about this is not about, okay, you need to be the kicker. You need to be the one who's so excited and so into health and nutrition. You are never going to eat sugar. You are never going to take anything into your body that is not healthy. Okay, maybe that's you. Maybe that's you, number 10. If we have a scale of 1 to 10, you might be 1. And you know what? I'm different numbers depending on the day, depending on what I'm going through in my life. You might be a number 1 who's going, you want to know what? I am not giving up my sugar. Okay, so that is totally fine. Just realize what I'm excited about is the way I'm going to show you this. You can take little steps no matter where you are on that scale. If you're a 5 and you eat pretty healthy, but you like to eat French fries and hamburgers, and there are other things that you like to do, there are things you can watch for that will make all the difference, okay? So first of all, I want you to think about this. Number 1, I want you to get enough sleep. If you get enough sleep, it is unbelievable what happens to your body. And research shows that we need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, you might be one of those rare people. I know you're out there going, not me, I only need 4. Okay, I know that that's true. So base this on your own personal system and what you need, because, some people don't need as much sleep. But realize you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. There are watches now that you can wear to bed that tell you exactly when you're waking up. I'll tell you what, I thought I was getting 8 hours of sleep because I was really trying to be good about this, but I started realizing when I wore that watch to bed how many hours were restless. And I don't wake up. I don't have a problem going to sleep. I didn't think I have a problem with sleep. But it made me realize when I started going to bed a little bit earlier at night, I wasn't so restless in the middle of the night. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Because what happens is, and what every step I'm going to talk to you about has to do with your immune system. Because our immune systems are set up brilliantly. What happens is they take care of all the attacks and the everything that is affecting our bodies. Our immune system is made to handle it. We can totally handle it, and the immune system has checks and balances. It's amazing. I'll give you an example. When a first attack comes to your immune system, what happens is if your cell gets mutated, then your body has a system where it goes, oh, check that, go and escort it out of the body. And so one of the mechanisms is all these cells come and escort it out of the body to get rid of it. Another mechanism, if one doesn't work, it'll do something else. One of the mechanisms is apoptosis, to help the cell tell itself when it's time to die. It'll say, oh, kill yourself because you're not a healthy cell. So your immune system takes care of so much. But I'll tell you right now, if you start to notice that you're fatigued, if you start to notice that you're gaining weight and you can't control it, if you start to notice that you can't sleep at night, if you start seeing any of these symptoms that we're talking about, I can guarantee you right now that your immune system is on overload. And these are all things that are going to help your immune system do the job that it's supposed to do. So sleep. We talked about sleep. That's important. Second one is we need to have less stress. Ha! I know, you guys, I know. Okay, it's super hard to do, but we really can do this. You need to start noticing the moments in your life where it's stressful. The times when you get mad because your kids aren't ready on time. Well, you know what? Take a breath. Take a breath and go, you know what? This is not worth the overload on my immune system. I can relax. If you are not taking 10 minutes in the middle of the day to take a break and read a little bit of a book or relax for a minute or do yoga for 10 minutes, you will be amazed at how it changes your stress level throughout the day. And there are so many studies, we've heard of this, it raises your cortisol levels. Stress does some really hard things. And when we talk about exercise, I'll come back to that in just a second. Drink lots of water. You need to be drinking as much as your body needs. Usually it's half a gallon to a gallon a day. You can look up those numbers online. You can easily find the amounts that you're supposed to be drinking, because guess what happens? When you start helping your immune system to be healthy, your body is trying to get rid of toxins. And especially as you're using the essential oils, I'll tell you some different outlines of things I like to use that are amazing for this. But as you're doing this, the toxins are, your liver is dealing with the toxins, your gallbladder, all of your body systems that help with that process are starting to go into overwork mode to try to help get those out. Well, you better be drinking enough water so that it can flush itself out of your system. That's really, really important. Okay, because you don't want those just sitting there. You're releasing all these toxins. You don't want it just sitting there. Less sugar. Okay, don't start freaking out at me just yet. Just hear me out for a second. There are different levels of sugar. I'll simplify it like this. The worst sugar you can eat, and for those of you who know everything about sugar, realize we're not talking about every single piece, but just to give you an overview. The worst sugar for your body is corn syrup. Second worst is white sugar. The next worst is white breads, because it converts right into what would be kind of like white sugar. Okay, so if you're going to be eating sugar, make sure that you're choosing healthy choices. So date sugar, coconut sugar, any of the healthier sugars, find the kind you like the taste of and use those instead. Because let's be realistic. Some people will act like you can't have any sugar, but the reality is our brain feeds on sugar too. So we need sugar, we just need healthy sugars. So start making a little bit of different choices about that. You can see how if you're at level 1, you can still do some of these things, right? You can start taking some of these steps. Okay, another one is exercise. Exercise allows more oxygen into your bloodstream. It's unbelievable what exercise does. And let me take a little side note for just a second, because people will talk about hormones. They'll talk about estrogen and progesterone. And if you're estrogen dominant or progesterone dominant, or you don't have enough of one or the other, then people will often act like it's important to take something that raises that level. But be really careful and be working with your doctor, because I might be estrogen dominant, but it's not because I have too much estrogen, it's because my progesterone is way too low. So I need a doctor who's going to be checking both of those numbers. And if my progesterone is low, and that's why I'm estrogen dominant, maybe what I need to do is be including some kind of a combo that either balances that out, or I'm taking extra, whatever route you decide to go. So keep that in mind, because when you exercise, it affects those hormones. Now keep in mind, exercise is a stress, but it's a really good stress unless you're doing it too hard. For example, when I was going through some of my health concerns through my breast cancer, and I had surgeries, and my body wasn't at top level, I tried to exercise like normal. I thought, wow, I'm starting to feel better. I feel good. A normal run for me is 7 miles or more. So 3 miles, that should be just fine. And I get that everybody's at different levels there. But for me, I ran 3 miles thinking that should be fine, and I didn't feel like it was a problem because my body was used to that. But guess what would happen? It would wipe me out for days after because my body wasn't ready for that. So if you try to do too hard of exercise, it's too much for your body, and then it becomes a negative stress. So start out small based on where you are and build up so that it's not a negative stress, it's a positive stress on your body, okay? One thing that I want to talk about that I am very passionate about is there is a list of things that you can do that help your immune system. And we've talked about many of those, but let me talk about it in terms of the foods we eat, because this is almost the easiest way to do this, okay? What you want to do is you want to start eliminating pesticides. You want to eliminate foods that are pre-prepared, those kinds of things. So the more you choose a wheat bread over a white bread, if you're at level 3 on this chart, then for heaven's sake, have white bread once in a while. Don't feel like you're a bad person because you are choosing that. But times when you're in the mood for something, you're not sure if you want steak or salad, then choose the salad. Make those choices as you go. But there are foods that have pesticides on them. Either start purchasing foods that don't have the pesticides, or make sure you wash your vegetables and fruits really, really well. And there are wonderful cleaners that you can buy as well. I'll tell you what, I started doing this when I realized that part of the reason I had cancer is because my immune system was on overload for too long. So it became a lot easier to make healthier choices. So make sure that if you're eating meats and dairy, make sure that they don't have hormones. They aren't animals injected with hormones. They haven't been injected with antibiotics. It's getting easier and easier to find those things, and less expensive, by the way, because it's becoming more and more of almost a fad in the United States, which is a good thing. So sometimes fads stick, sometimes they don't. Let's make sure it sticks in the right way. Some of the other things that happen with our immune system is we're breathing in air pollution. We have toxins in the air. Another wonderful and amazing thing that you can do is to detox. Now, you can look all over the internet and find ways to detox. Just make sure that you're using something that is very healthy. Make sure you're using products that are high quality, that are safe. And one last thing I wanted to share with you is that there are fruits and vegetables that have been proven to help support your immune system. So there's a drink that I learned about from a good friend of mine. This is actually from a famous book in China, and you can't even get the book in English. So Kathy Tang, who is a wonderful friend, has shared this recipe with us, and it's got 5 fruits and 5 vegetables. It's amazing. So you'll see that on this video. You can see here how you can make that drink. You just blend it all into a blender. It is amazing. And if it's a little bit too thick, just add more water. If it's not quite sweet enough for you, add one of those more healthy sugars, add a little bit of that to it, and it tastes pretty palatable. I'm surprised at how good I can make it taste. One other trick I do to add a little sweetened flavor is add a little extra pineapple juice, because that makes it taste really good to me. So those are some powerful ways you can support your immune system. But what I want to share with you now is some of the products that help make this easy and help your body do this job that you're trying to do, help your cells to do the job they're trying to do to help your immune system. These are super supportive of that. One is the Lifelong Vitality Pack. That is a powerhouse. There's a reason it's one of our top selling products. It's because, think about this, if you are trying to help your cells to be healthy, then if your cells aren't getting everything they need, they can't do their job right. So give them everything they need. And that Lifelong Vitality Pack, it was created with some of the top scientists in the world. people who are at top level at what they do. So we work with doctors all over who are so excited about this. When they see what's in this product, they say, okay, how can I get this for my other patients? Because it is such a powerful support. So I would absolutely add LLV to what you're doing, your daily routine. These are daily. A second one I would use is DDR Prime. That is an amazing support to your cells. Very, very healthy for that. One of the things that research shows is that about 90% of our immune system resides in our gut. So think about that. If you are not getting things passed through your gut, and if your gut isn't handling things healthy the way that it's supposed to, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to see that domino effect like we talked about. So I'm going to give you a list of items that are amazing. You can use this as your detox, or you can incorporate these into a detox that you want to do. One of them is the PB Assist Plus, and the other is the GX Assist, and there are a few other items, and I'll tell you what those are. But first, I want to tell you how to use the PB Assist Plus and the GX Assist. So what you're going to do is the GX Assist, you use it for 10 days. 10 days in a row, and then the next 10 days you're going to use the PB Assist. And what happens is at the end of that 20 days, then you take a break for the rest of the month and start again your next month. Now keep in mind that if you find that it's creating this process too fast for you, and because keep in mind that your organs have to get those toxins out, and there's a lot going on in there. Make sure you're drinking a ton of water. That's really important. But if you find that that process seems to be going too quickly for you, then what I want you to do is go down to 1 pill a day, or 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and each month work your way up to whatever is best for you until you get to the point where you're using what it says on the bottle. Okay, the other items in this detox system that I don't do without, it's amazing, is Teresa, the pills, Zendocrine, which are also the pills, and then the Zendocrine oil. I include the Slim and Sassy as well, because even though that is a powerful support for weight and what you're trying to do there, it also helps support this detox system that we're incorporating here. And I'll tell you what, I'm traveling internationally all the time. Sometimes my schedule is out of whack and my circadian rhythm is off. And when I am using these products, I am telling you, I am regular. Can't believe I'm saying this on a video, but it changes everything and I feel great. I sleep better. All of those processes that we talked about before work better for my body. There are daily routines that I would do with the essential oils. There are 3 oils I think you need to be using every morning and every night that help support what we've been talking about today. One is Balance essential oil, one is frankincense, and one is On Guard. These will help support your immune system, help support the different processes in your gut. They are amazing. Okay, and the other essential oils that I would add that help your cells so that they are healthy, they help support these goals that you have for your health and your immune system, that's lemongrass, cinnamon, and rosemary. Those are powerful supports to the immune system. You can put some in a capsule, take it internally, or if you like it in water. So hopefully these suggestions will really help you. I know that when I'm doing these things, I have optimal health. I can feel the difference in my body. I see outcomes that are completely different. My body responds differently to the stresses that I come across in normal everyday life. So hopefully this has helped. You go out and take care of this. I don't care where you are on that spectrum. Figure out where you are and start there, and don't feel bad about it. Just start taking baby steps, and here we go.